the other group in this parable I just want to take a real quick look at is the crowd that has been gathered to celebrate the return of the Son. All right, so they held a feast. If you hold a feast, all these people are going to come together. They're all there. What is their motivation for being there? Now, we really don't know. Just like we don't know if the Son ever goes into the party after the Father comes out to talk to him. We don't know whether or not the Son ever leaves the stoop and goes in and hugs his brother and celebrates with everyone. We don't know. It's open. And I think the point of why it's open is that Jesus is talking to the scribes and Pharisees, and he's leaving it open to them to say, hey, what are you going to do? You're going to keep sitting on the stoop? Or are you going to come in and celebrate because of what the Father has already done? And oh, by the way, when you wander and you go off and you abuse the Father's grace and mercy and compassion and the righteousness that is yours, by the way, when you come back, the Father's going to throw the same party for you too. So like, what are you doing? So, but we never know if the Son comes in or not. And that was the challenge to the scribes and Pharisees, to see if they could get out of their own way, to accept the fact that God's love is greater than anything they possibly ever could imagine or contain it to be. But then there is this group of people who have come to the celebration. Now, let's be honest, probably a vast majority of them because there's great food, you know? Look, this guy went ahead and killed the fatted calf, a young fatling calf just cooked with all the bells and whistles and trimming. I don't know, probably good motivation for me is, you know, I'd go because of the food. All right, great party, let's go. But how many of those people possibly already came, are coming, did come, because they wanted to gloat over the person who wandered off and did all this stuff and came back? Good intentions, oh yes, we'd be happy to attend, but they really want to be there to sort of take a look at the person who just did all this stuff. And oh, by the way, while we're there, let's be entertained by the stupid father who just accepted him back, when everything within the law means that this person should be ostracized and disowned. And yet the Father, you know, did this. Let's go see what that is. You wonder how many people came back to find out, well, how's the older son handling this? How's he dealing with all that? And now with the older son outside, what is the bickering among the crowd inside the party, getting fat off of the calf, you know, about the son who won't come in outside, watching the father go out to get him and come back in? And then how many of those people are authentically happy for the Father that he has his son back? And I think in our lives, if we are honest, when we encounter these moments in time when other people are coming to Christ and coming to God, and you see and you witness some of their faith and their faithful activity and their faithful lives, we make similar judgments, I think. And even as a church, we make judgments on one another. You know, if people come and they're repenting from a life, you know, how much are we really open to accepting the fact that God has called them, that they're here because God has brought them here? There is a purpose why they're here. There's a purpose why they're watching online. There's a purpose why these people are gathering. Are we very open to the fact that God is open to invite and to bring whoever God wants at any point in time? We have no right to curtail or to limit God's compassion and mercy. Our job is to what? Mimic the master. To learn from the master that our actions, our deeds, our reactions are that exactly as Jesus's. And so there is no way around the fact that you and I have to take a second look at how we consider what we judge other people to be, whether or not we judge them to be worthy or good people or bad people. This gospel really challenges us to take a look at all that. How free are we to do that when we ourselves end up running off and doing things ourselves and crawling back asking for God's continued forgiveness, mercy, and love? So we're challenged to do that, and we're challenged to really sort of take a look then, what is our response, you know, as Christians? And I think Paul says it. You know, you give generously because you have received generously. Paul, sitting in jail with all of his issues, right? Paul's struggling with some sort of sinfulness. Paul is dealing with something that he feels is a stumbling block to his relationship with God. And yet, in and through it all, what is Paul saying? Paul's saying that he has experienced God's grace to such a degree that everyone else is welcome because God has welcomed him. Do we honestly think that we're any better? And yet somehow we end up in that judgment zone. We do. And I think Jesus is just sort of course correcting for us as disciples today. So, people ask me all the time, I don't know if I'm being a good Christian. I don't know, Yeah, you do. How much are you resembling Jesus? And we all have growth to do. There's always more for us to grow. We become more knowledgeable, we new revelations, all of that. And there's going to be times when we're the prodigal, and we take everything that God has given us and we throw it away and we run off and we do a whole bunch of stupid stuff. And I don't know, maybe you like me, this happens weekly, sometimes daily. And then you end up coming back because you know that the Father's there and the Father loves you. And you try to hold that balance. You do. But in the end, if this is the way God operates with us, and if this is the way we celebrate and we rejoice that God deals with us, then we have to look at one another the exact same way. We want to know how much we are faithful to being Christians. How much do our lives mimic the Master? And possibly in this area of brokenness and infidelity and the simplicity and the struggles of humanity, this is where it really comes down to clear action. How fast are we at judging other people? How fast are we of thinking that they're not worthy of our attention, our time, our prayer, whatever the case might be? Because over and over again in Luke's gospel, if there's one thing that he wants us to know, it is that this God of Jesus Christ, this God that Jesus has come to manifest and to reveal, is a God totally of unconditional love. That has to be the starting point for our lives as Christians, but also for that which we would call the church. God bless you. Hi, just wanted to thank you so much for watching the video. We hope that what you're coming away with is inspirational and a guide for your life. We're really glad you could be part of our community. Please be sure to like and subscribe to this channel so that you can be continually updated with our new music videos, our new sermons, our new services that are published, so that you could stay connected with us. Thanks so much again. God bless you.